got all her notes and none of mine. Okay. She's wonderful, proud of you guys. Okay, I don't need to introduce myself. My name is Sal Ticli, and I am a graduate, a 1964 graduate of Mamaroneck High School, and a Vietnam veteran. I want to thank everybody for attending this memorial today, for realizing its importance, and understanding that we, as a community, will always remember these 12 Vietnam veterans. This started in early November, and I will give you the details on how this originated in a few minutes. But I need to let you know the people responsible for this patriotic tribute, their names, and how their contributions have made this day possible. Robert Chapp, Superintendent of Schools. Elizabeth Klain, Principal of Mamaroneck High School, for making this possible. Kathy Donison, retired history teacher, and for her help with the research. Susan Valente, Secretary in the Humanities Office. Joanne Rice, Secretary to the Superintendent. The Mamaroneck High School custodians for helping us with these tribute cases. John Esposito for framing all the photos. Don Keene, good man here. Our teacher for all his fantastic work scanning and printing the photos, and for his unbelievable work on these tribute cases. Barry Suman, Athletic Director, for her support, and Anthony Vitti, Head Football Coach and a homage teacher. And then there's Mary. Let me tell you what, when God made great people, they made her. She's a history teacher and Vice President of Kemper Memorial Park Preservation Fund, who I had the privilege and honor to work with putting this memorial together. She was the rock, the glue that made this day hopefully one you will cherish and remember for the rest of your lives. We welcome any contributions to these Vietnam veterans showcases pertaining to the 12 mentioned today. Pictures, awards, presentations, anything that will help us is accepted at any time. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mamaroneck's finest. In early November, I received an envelope from the Department of the Navy. I had no idea why I would be receiving a package from them, but when I opened it, Dave Porterfield's Purple Heart and Silver Star were inside. I was in shock and honestly very emotional. I stared at these medals for a couple hours while trying to figure out why they were sent to me. A year and a half earlier, I had put both our names in the General Patton Memorial Museum in the National Purple Heart Hall of Honor. The Department of the Navy said I requested it, but I never did. Then I thought, what if Dave's family never received these medals? So for 2 days I searched for Pamela Porterfield, and finally with the help of a friend, Patty Mancini, Pam and I were connected, and we have been family ever since. We spoke for 45 minutes, and she assured me the family had been presented Dave's medals, and they were still in her possession. I asked her if I could present the medals to the village of Mamaroneck, and she was overwhelmed. She never knew how David touched so many lives. I really didn't know where to go with this, but for the first time, I thought it was God's way of telling me, bring his memory back to Mamaroneck. Excuse me. Something told me to contact Mamaroneck High School and speak to someone about putting his medals in the school. I connected to Mary Cronin, who patiently waited on the other end of the line while I tried to tell her this story. This was my most difficult moment. She thought the idea was a great one, and after a few weeks I brought her everything I had accumulated, and this memorial was finally jump-started. Idea after idea brought us to this final conclusion that all Vietnam veterans from Mamaroneck enlargement that died in Vietnam were to be honored and remembered forever for the greatest sacrifice a veteran can make, his life. Here are the 12 names, Vietnam veterans' names, that we honor today. Lance Corporal Harold Henry Schock, United States Marine Corps, 20 October 1965. Corporal Edgar Brower Burchell III, United States Marine Corps, 4 June 1966. Hospitalman David Edward Porterfield, United States Navy / United States Marine Corps, 18 July 1966. Corporal Robert D. Roberto, United States Marine Corps, 15 December 1966. Major Daniel James Keating, Jr., United States Marine Corps, 22 May 1968. Lance Corporal Ernest James Hill, United States Marine Corps, 14 July 1968. Staff Sergeant Richard Allen Western, United States Army, 20 May 1968. PFC Vito Vitra, United States Army, 28 February 1969. John Petty Batterson, Jr., United States Army, 19 June 1969. Second Lieutenant Martin Jerome Keogh, United States Army, 2 March 1970. And Airman First Class Daniel Martin Brown, United States Air Force, 19 October 1971. I have a letter from Assemblyman George Latimer, who sent this letter and requested that I read it to you. So I am going to read it to you. Okay? He's going to say, may I take a moment to apologize for not being here today. I am in Albany for our legislative session, as is my responsibility. The organizers and hosts of this event must be praised for their foresight in remembering and recognizing the brave men and women who served our country during the Vietnam War. That war is not history to me. It is current events, living the day-by-day coverage as I progressed through my teen years. The impacts of that war still reverberate in our society. What can never be forgotten are the stories of bravery, selfishness, heroism shown by America's young men and women then, now turning toward their senior citizen years today. The climate in the war zone, and at times in our homeland, was hostile to these soldiers. They did what their country asked of them, and suffered through the strife and neglect when they came home in peacetime. Many of the people we honor today were not honored when they arrived home in a divided nation back those 40 years ago. 40 years later, we are, at last, united in remembering the sacrifice of the individual soldier who served in Vietnam. This event, thanks to them, and all Mamaroneck enlargement thanks them for their exemplary commitment to duty. George Latimer, Assemblyman, 91st Assembly District. He also hand-delivered 12 certificates Monday to my house. They're certificates of merit. They are from the Assembly of the State of New York. And I would like to read one to you. I picked out one name so I can read it as it appears. The New York State Assembly Certificate of Merit. The Assembly of the State of New York, in recognition of the achievement of Staff Sergeant Richard Allen Western, U.S. Army, 20 May 1968, in honor of your Vietnam service and in loving memory of all your friends in Westchester and in the state of New York. Hereby presents this certificate of merit, presented this day, Wednesday, April 25th, 2012. You can take a look at this if you want to a little bit later, but this is what it looks like. And he hand-delivered these right to my house. There are a few people here today that our committee would like to thank for attending and supporting this memorial. Assemblyman George Latimer, Kathy Petagrasso, his office director, and Nancy Tunis, his district director. Former Assemblyman Ron Tochi, honored into the Senate Veterans Hall of Fame and former Commissioner of Veterans Affairs. His commitment in helping all veterans is unmatched. He has dedicated his life to the betterment of our nation and deserves this recognition. Norman Rosenblum, the Honorable Mayor for the Village of Mamaroneck. Ann McAndrews, the Honorable Mayor of the Village of Larchmont. Tom Brennan, a 1966 graduate of Mamaroneck High School and Vietnam veteran who was a trauma therapist in the Bronx, VA, and who has helped many returning veterans that have PTSD and is responsible for me having and learning the computer through the No Man is an Island course. Jane Elkin Eny, Councilwoman for the town of Mamaroneck. Debbie Minetta, Director of Public Information. Mr. Michael Hines, owner of Molly Spillane's and the Molly Spillane Group, for always being there for me and supporting this memorial. Sandra Wong Giroux, who volunteered her services to photograph this memorial. Thank you, Sandra. Paul Kearns, commander of the Larchmont American Legion Post 347, also to the members of Post 347 that helped me out with their support. I would like at this particular moment to introduce Paul Kearns, who's the commander of Post 347.